Hello everyone. In today's video, we will look into how to write pseudocode for your programs. So generally, anyone could write pseudocode, whether it's on their actual device that they will be coding on, or if they are going to be using paper and pencil. So it truthfully just depends on your preference. In this case, I'm going to be doing it in Visual Studio Code as a text file, which you all can do as well if you prefer to do everything electronically. So if you're looking to create pseudocode, anytime you're working with it, just save it as a text file so it just knows that it's not associated with any specific programming language. So getting started with your pseudocode, basically the idea of the pseudocode is to write out the steps you would need to do in your problem solving or your actual coding. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a simple example of how to create pseudocode based off of a problem. So the problem or the issue we're going to look at is creating a login system. So creating a login system. And overall, everyone should know how a login system works, so that's why we're going to go with that. But what I like to do is just go ahead and place some numbers just because I know there are certain steps I need to follow. Now, step one, if you were to create a login system, the very first thing you would do, and just use your own experience, would be that we need to complete some action. And our first action would be to actually read in the username and the password from the user. And this is just considering that the user may already have a password. But there is a case where the username could not have a password. So that's also something to take into consideration, but we're not going to get there yet. So typically if you go to a login page, it asks for the username and the password. So what will happen is it's going to, well, first we have to input it. So let's change that. We'll say input username and password. And then it's going to check for that username. So then it would read the username information. And it's basically going to check the website's database or whatever database is being used to store usernames for users. So first, we're going to ask our user to enter their username and password, and we're going to then read the username to check the website's database to see if it's there. So then we need to have options based on that check. So if the username is found, then we want to do something. However, if the username is not found, then we want to do something else. Now in here is where we'll start to write our steps. So if the username is not found, one thing we probably want to do is print to the user that the username is not found, because we need to let them know, hey, we don't see whatever you provided to us, so we don't know what to do next, basically. From that point is where you can have another option. So from here, you can either allow the user to create a username, and then that will then allow them to work with the login. And obviously, if they create a username, they also will need to create the password. All right. So actually, I put this in the wrong way. So I said if username is not found. All right, and then we'll do this one to found. All right. So the first example we have is if our username is not found. So we're going to basically print to our user, hey, our username is not found, and then we need to create the username and password. So if you create the username and password, the next portion of that will then be saying that we need to ask for a input or input. So the user will have to input the username and password, and then we would have to set the username, and then we would have to set the password. And that's basically saying we're setting them to variables to store and have in our database. And then you could say here, save to database or something like that. Now, if the username is found, then you could say, obviously, print hello username, and then you would basically then they would pretty much have access to the website. All right. So you have that. Now, there is a case where, let's say the username is found, right? But the password's wrong. So you could say here that you'll check for the password. So if password is incorrect, then we want to do this. So basically, if the password's incorrect, you could say print password incorrect. Please try again. And then basically, you would ask the user to then input their username and password again. All right. Now, the other option would be if the password is correct. Oops, capitalize that, if. Or in this case, you could really do an else if. So remember, applying your conditionals is just a good thing to do because we would be using this in our code itself. So you could say else if password is correct, then we want to say print welcome back, and then our user can then access the website features, right? So that is a simple example of how you could do pseudocode. And from here, I can then write out my code, or I can see what I would need. So program requirements based on this would be I need a scanner for input. I need variables to store the username and password. I need to also have some conditionals. So that will be if statements and else if statements. So you could also have the else statement. Remember, that is a fail all case. So those are some things I would need. And obviously, I would need some printing of messages to the user. So because I sat here and just thought about the logic of what needs to happen, I can easily take a look at this now and say, okay, these are the steps I need to take. What concepts in programming do I know exist that I can use to make this happen? Which is what I'm basically doing when I get to the program requirements section. Again, everyone's pseudocode is different. So you can go as detailed as you would like into the logic, but as you take note here, there is no actual correct formatting or syntax from the Java language that we're using. Everything that we've done here is purely English. If you were to hand it to somebody else right now, they could read it. So basically, the idea is to keep it in plain text English form. And then you would then take this and transform it into your code using the other concepts we have covered. So this is a brief introduction into how to write some pseudocode for your programs, how to break things down, and I highly recommend this before you get into coding anything big or complex. So that is something to keep in mind. So the next tutorial we'll look into loops, and we'll see you back for our next coding tutorial.